All right, so this is going to go over the Chapter 10 review test. I'm just going to do all the questions. So do it on your own, follow along, check, whatever you need. The quadratic formula, think of the song. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Once you get that down, the discriminant we talked about is what is inside the square root. So the discriminant we can say is b squared minus 4ac. It tells us how many solutions there are to a problem based on whether it's positive, negative, or 0. And the axis of symmetry, again, is also in here. We talked about this. This is that negative b over 2a. So the x value of the vertex, or the axis of symmetry, is x equals negative b over 2a. We'll use those throughout this. State whether the graph opens up or down. So whether it's like this or like this. That's based on our a in y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. If a is positive, it opens up. If a is negative, it opens down. So this one is up, this is down, and this is down as well. And we know that because this is a positive, this is a negative, this is a negative. Match each graph with its function. So when we look at this, we want to look at some of the things we know about graphs. Now there is no c in any of these. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So because there is no b value, it means that the c tells us whether it's that many units up or down on the axis of symmetry with our y-axis. So if I look at these, well, one thing I can look at, this is a negative, this is a negative, this is a positive, this is a positive. So I know that this needs to go down. Like these downs are part of this. And this at plus 2 tells me it's shifted up 2. And these are going by 2 forward. We can see that. So for 7, I can say that this one is A. This one's going down. There is no C, or C is 0. So it is on the vertex. So I can say that this one is D. So now I look at my other two, I have a positive, and then knowing that information, they're both going up. This is a 2x, and this is a 3x squared minus 4. And this minus 4 is telling us it's shifted down 4 units. So here's our origin here, shifted down for our vertex. So this one would be B, which means that C would be 9. So we're using that information about the C. When there's no B, it's shifted up, down, or whether it's opening down or up. All right, find the equation of the axis of symmetry and the coordinates of the vertex of the graph for each function. All right, we don't have to graph these. We'll graph those other ones later, but here's where we identify A, B, and C. And we're using x equals negative b over 2a as our starting point. So my A here is negative 4. My B, there is no B, so that's 0. And my C is 3. And again, we just need A and B. So I'm going to use the negative b over 2a. So negative b over 2a. It's going to give me my x value. So my b is 0, negative 4. So my x value, we know, is going to be 0. 0 divided by negative 8. And then I put my 0 into here. And you can use your decimals calculator or your calculator at home. So I'm going to put 0 in for x here. So negative 4 times 0 squared plus 3. 0 squared is 0. 0 times negative 4 is 0. So 3 is my vertex. All right, so do the same thing over for 12. We're going to find our x value first by using this formula. And then we're going to plug that answer in for our x's here to get for our y. So I'm going to start with my A and my B. My A is 1 and my B is 5. So negative b over 2a, that would be a 5 and a 1, which comes out to negative 5 over 2. And we can use that as a decimal, 5 divided by 2. So it's going to be negative 2.5, so my x equals negative 2.5. Now I'm going to put negative 2.5 into here. So x squared plus 5x minus 12. So I'm putting negative 2.5s in for there. We type that into our calculator. So I just pause that and I typed this into my calculator, and what you should get for your y value then would be negative 18.25. So your vertex is negative 2.5 comma negative 18.25. There's my vertex for there. All right, graphing each function. So we talked about different ways of graphing this. First thing we're going to do is find the vertex, and we're going to find a point to the right and a point to the left. So I'm going to put my XY chart here, and the first XY point I'm going to find is my vertex. So again, I'm going to identify A, B, and C, and really just A and B is what I need. So my A is negative 1, my B is negative 4, and again, negative B over 2A. So negative 4 over 2 times negative 1. When I do that, that is going to come out, so that's going to be a positive 4 divided by negative 2. It's going to be negative 2 for my x. Again, you're putting this into your calculator. So now to get my other point of the vertex, I'm going to use negative x squared minus 4x plus 3. And this is where we're using our decimals calculator, because then we just back it out with numbers we want. So I'm going to put my negative 2 in here for my x's. I'm going to pause the video and do this on my calculator. Okay, so I type this in as I see it here. And if you're using decimals, you put the parentheses in. And I typed it in and I get 7. So negative 2 for my x and positive 7 for my y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is my vertex. Now I'm going to pick a point to the right and to the left of this vertex. You can use negative 1, 0, 1 to the right. 0 is an easy one to use. So if I put in 0 for my x and then I put in my zeros here for these x's, I get 3 as my output. So I can do 0, 3. And again, our axis of symmetry, you don't need to label this, but our axis of symmetry when we're cutting in half here. So if I go over here, that's going to be where another point is on this graph. All right, and then I can draw that. And this point would be negative 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 4, 3. So we want to label, I want you guys to give me these known points here. I can see these are ordered pairs for when we take that test. So as the graph is going down, that's good. It lines up with that negative. All right, so here's another one we can work on. So again, the x and my y, I'm going to do my vertex first. So negative b over 2a again. So instead of, I have my a and my b, my a is 2, my b is 16. So negative 2 over 2 times 16. Oops, I did that wrong. My b needs to go on top. Glad I caught that. So negative 16 over 2 times 2 gives us negative 16 over 4, which would be negative 4. So negative 4 is my x value. I'm going to type this negative 4 into here. I'm going to use the decimals calculator for this one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this formula into my decimals calculator. So I have 2 parentheses squared plus 16, and then my other x minus 5. All right, so I've found my vertex as negative 4, or my x value. So I put in negative 4 here for both of these. And I get, this is off the screen a little bit, I get negative 37 as my other vertex here. It's pretty ugly. All right, so now I need to find a point on the left and the right. Again, I can use 0 if I want. 0 is going to give me negative 5. So if I use 0, negative 5, then I have to go equal distance away from that. Let's go ahead and graph this. How are we going to do this when 37 is way off the graph? Well, what I'm going to do is just put in negative 4 for my x. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my negative 4. and let me make this bigger. And negative 37 is going to be way down here. So negative 4, negative 37. What I'm going to do, again, because this is by ones and this is by tens, I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to label my vertex. So negative 4, comma, negative 37. So that way I know you guys are familiar with this axis of symmetry going down here, but we don't have to do another, 27 tick marks going down. All right, again, now if I use 0, I know negative 5 is a point that goes through this graph. So 0, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can put a dot there. And again, my axis of symmetry is this line. I'll draw it in yellow. So we can go equal distance away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot there as my other known point. So your known points for your other points, we have 0 and negative 5, but then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and negative 5. So that would be 8 and negative 5 here as my other known point, and then we can draw our U-shaped graph going through there. Oops. Okay, finding the number of real solutions, we're using the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. So identify your b squared minus 4ac on all of these. So b squared minus 4ac, my b is 3, my a is 1, and my c is negative 4 here. Type that into your calculator. Same thing here. I'm just going to set this up. B squared minus 4ac. Here my a is negative 2, so I'm going to put that there. My b is negative 5, and my c, there isn't one, so I'm going to use 0 for that one. And over here, b squared minus 4ac, I'm going to use 1 for my a, so that one goes there. 12 is my c, and I don't have a b because that middle term is missing, so that's going to be 0. So I'm going to type these into my calculator and see what they come out as. Okay, so I went ahead and typed these in and paused this and typed these into my calculator. For this one I get 25. This one I also get 25. For this one I get negative 48. So remember, if it's a positive number, there's 2 solutions. So this is 2 solutions. This one is also 2 solutions. This one is negative, so there is no solutions. All right, so these we're using the 0 product property. This one's already factored, so we can set each of these equal to 0. X minus 5 equals 0, and 2x plus 1 equals 0. Add 5 to both sides. X equals 5 for one of my solutions. Subtract 1, so 2x equals negative 1, divide by 2, and x equals negative 1/2. Over here, we have to factor it first. So I do my double parentheses, I put my x and my x. All right, what multiplies equal 12? We have 1 and 12, we have 2 and 6, we have 3 and 4. And which one of these will multiply to equal positive 12 to add to equal negative 7? We would have to use a double negative here to get that negative 7. So it's negative 3 and negative 4. Once we do this, now we can go ahead and set these equal to 0. So add 3 to both sides. X equals 3. Add 4. X equals 4. All right, finally the quadratic formula. I'm going to set up this one. So we have A, B, and C. We have 4, 3, and negative 5. So set up your quadratic formula. X equals negative B plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And I'm going to pause this because I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to pick this up on my next video.